Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video from the channel by the name of LeaIsChill. Today we are returning to go ahead and hit up another episode of Gacha Tourist. Unfortunately, this week has been so busy with the school stuff, and so I haven't had the chance to record pretty much anything else. But because I am very enthusiastic about a lot of the stuff that I have to cover, and I think there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to chat about in the future of Gacha Tourist as well, I want to go ahead and hop on and we're going to check out the current updates for a lot of the games that I've been taking a look at. Now, I don't have everything from every single game that I've heard of, and so I'm skipping like a couple of random characters that have been released. I'm skipping a couple of like random postings and places, but I'm trying to offer you all the intrigue that I found. Let's go ahead and hop right to it. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and go through everything pretty much in order and check out the stuff that I wanted to today. Basically, JJK Phantom Parade has been like the main game I've been playing for this channel as of recently. And so I'm kind of keeping an eye on both the JP version and the English version. And this week, they seem to be doing a dual release with another Yuji and Mahito, both on JP and on Global. But last week, they dropped the first proper Sukuna into the game. And apparently, he is the best DPS in the game so far. Let's go ahead and check out his animation. Obviously, it's going to be kind of short, but that's just how it goes. It's Phantom Parade. And sure enough, that is the extent of it. I imagine his co-op ultimate's probably going to be a lot cooler when he like pops up and does like the proper thing with everybody. But hey, I'll take it. Definitely a pretty exciting character. And he seems to be the top blue DPS in the entire game. And so he is going to change a lot of people's accounts going forward. I imagine for Global, he'll probably end up dropping in the next like 2 months. I would imagine they're kind of rushing a bunch of banners on JJK, and so them dropping the Mahito and the Yuji at the same time right now implies that they're probably going to be trying to sync up the versions the best they can, which will include this Sukuna hopefully coming sometime, probably just after they drop. So there's like 4 high-profile units to still come. There's Hidden Inventory Gojo and Geto, there's Toji, and now there's Sukuna. And all 4 of those, I think, are going to be kind of crazy-ass banners that are going to be very important. We'll find out if he actually is premium or if he's going to be limited, but regardless, he looks absolutely rad. And actually, I'm just kind of looking at accounts that are around right now to keep an eye on things, and you can see here, this is the Mahito. I'm not really too curious about his animations. I imagine you just kind of know that he'll have idle transfiguration and stuff, but hey, he's exciting. Next up, I wanted to hit up checking out 2 One Piece Bounty Rush characters, the first one of which being Galaxy Impact Garp. I'm pretty excited about this, actually. The actual anime scenes for both of these attacks were crazy, and then One Piece has been on break since, and so it feels like it is like the most recent and hypest thing in One Piece right now. I also really like the fact that Koby is kind of real now. He actually does stuff. A living legend. Yeah. So yeah, naturally he's inside the outfit. Legendary hero. So he's just kind of a generalized attacker. I think that he specializes in just attacking from far distances and absolutely destroying people by ignoring defense and stuff. And there it is! Just a big AoE damaging thing. I'm actually not sure if he was an Extreme Bounty Festival or not. It looks like it doesn't actually say too much if it's an EX or not. I imagine it's not, considering this is how they announced it. It doesn't actually say EX on the actual posting. But regardless, he looks absolutely rad. Obviously, I'm not really playing Bounty Rush right now because I'm not really super caught up, but
12.
It's still been fun to kind of check out characters that they release as they have been, because this is pretty much the One Piece game that has the coolest 3D models. Like this Koby. I like that he has the cape. The Koby inside the anime I don't think had the cape whatsoever. Entrusted by the hero. The future of the Navy. I like that little cut. And it does seem to be, he's a little bit more low-key. I think because the other one said legendary and this guy doesn't say legendary, this guy's a premium. And so he is going to be a little bit less powerful as far as I know. But either way, he looks pretty rad. And honestly, it's probably going to be the only like meta-relevant Koby that ever comes out. I think there was a Blue Runner one that was kind of like okay when he first dropped, but never really got to those heights. This is the Dark Attacker, meaning that he'll be able to, I believe Dark is good against all other typings, Light is good against Dark. And so he'll be able to do a lot of good work there. And obviously, Double Attacker with Garp is just going to be absolutely incredible. Yeah, the anime definitely did it a lot better compared. I definitely do agree with that. All right, on to the next one. Actually, One Piece Bounty Rush is just kind of going to always be around, so I just want to check it out and kind of keep on top of it, because it's always cool to check out. This right here, I didn't really want to watch the whole trailer, but there was a visual novel that's been on the Play Store since way back in the day called Tasokare Hotel. And it's basically a kind of fancy visual novel, which is a locked room mystery from the part that I played. And they got the original voice actors and actresses for it. And actually you can see this weird flame head boy. Yeah, and so it seems to be like an afterlife thing where people are the afterlife in this world, near-death experience. That's kind of the main plot, and you can now find this on Prime. I don't know if it's going to be a full series, but it actually is kind of exciting that it got a proper adaptation, because I find this art to be really cute. And I do think that a lot of people are really big fans of Tasokare Hotel. It's kind of always been fairly popular since it was out way back in the day. So I actually would want to watch an anime of this to check it out. I don't know if I'll end up playing the game at any point, so watching this and at least knowing what the plot is like is kind of cool. And so I'm glad that it finally got some kind of adaptation here. I guess it's coming out through all of January, and I'm going to be excited to check it out properly. But Gacha games getting proper animes is always cool when they're actually giving it like a nice art style and actually putting some care into it. So Tasokare Hotel, definitely going to be an exciting thing to watch. What kind of people do you enjoy killing? It's a creepy ass man. I don't like it. But yeah, I'm going to check this out. I'll let you guys know how it is. Probably talk about it inside like a JJK video or something, but I'm just glad that there are actual adaptations being made for these. Obviously, a lot of the time it happens where it's an anime first and then it turns into a gacha game because that's how you make the money, right? This has just been around since like 2016 or before, which is cool. And that's it. Just wanted to cover it. Here we have the new Marvel game. This is by the same people who are doing Marvel Rivals right now, and so it seems like they're kind of making a gacha kind of cash grabby thing alongside the main Overwatch style game, but it is pretty exciting. Honestly, I ended up installing this and it didn't really impress me all that much. What it seems to be is a kind of generic auto battler where you're only popping the ultimates of characters and you're mostly just watching them fight, kind of similar to Tower of God New World, but the art style is very, very pretty. I do think that the biggest plus for this is the fact that they actually have like a really solid cell shaded style to all of the gameplay. Like this is actually like roughly the art style in game. This is it. This is literally like gameplay right now. This is ultimates. Yeah, I am a big fan of the art style itself. I don't think I'm going to ever put any time into a game like this. Auto battlers just kind of don't have that level of depth I'm looking for. I also don't think that Marvel is a gacha that I would really care about all too much. Marvel's had like 6 gachas over the lifespan of the Play Store / iOS store, and I've never really gotten super deep into it. Regardless, it seems like a lot of people are really enjoying this, and so if you are a pretty big Marvel fan, I think that this is going to be one of the better ones that's come out. I guess we'll see as time goes on kind of how well it monetizes, how it ends up building itself. If this is how they're going to make all the money back from Marvel Rivals, giving out all characters for free. But yeah, I am a big fan of the whole art style they're rocking with here. And naturally, they have a lot of like weird ass picks inside there too. Like Juggernaut's in there, the Cthulhu Man's in there. Definitely respect it. Reality belongs to me now. Thanks, Nightmare. You are like a villain in almost nothing else. But I'm a big fan of how they've ended up doing this. The Hulk's kind of a weird one. He seems to have, like, I don't know if it's supposed to be the markings from the 10 rings, but it kind of looks like it a little bit. Either way, the goatee on Hulk is absolutely hilarious. But I think NetEase has notoriously been a kind of mid company when it comes to developing games like this. They have been fairly predatory in the past with a lot of other games they put out. But irregardless, it does seem like a lot of the time. So for anime games in particular, I think there's always like a console game made alongside a gacha game. So the example would be like Sparking Zero was in development during the time that Legends started development, I want to say. Pretty much like they were synced up or somewhat similar. Similarly, like Naruto Ninja Blazing existed because of the Storm series. This seems to be because they were putting out Marvel Rivals. They wanted to be able to get you on your phone as well, and so they kind of tossed this out. And, you know, if you want another auto battler, it seems like it's going to be one of the better ones that are out there. And we'll check it out, I guess, again in like 6 months and see how it's flying. But I'll be real with you, there's going to be like no content creators for this game in like 3 months or less. It's just how these games go. It really depends on how they monetize it, but typically it is pretty DOA a lot of the time when you look at the content creator space. But yeah, that's how it goes. Last thing I want to cover today is actually kind of an interesting thing. So the Konosuba Fantastc Days game is one that's been around. I think it lasted like 2 years, like 2.5 years. And it had a bunch of collabs. I hopped on for the Overlord collab. They had a couple of other ones along the way that were kind of big, but the collabs won't be available in this right here, which seems to be 5 different offline apps after the end of service. And so every one of the apps is going to offer a different part of the game for you to check out and view. So the first one is going to be the generalized like main menu and the actual gameplay itself. The second one is going to be all character side stories. The other ones, so here, let me actually look at this. Card viewer and battle animations, full voice interaction of every character in live 2D, background music for a third one, fully voiced main story, event stories split into 2 apps. Yeah, it's because the events are pretty big, so they have 2 different apps. It actually is labeled part 1 and part 2 for the main story. And no collab related contents for any of the apps. So they actually aren't able to get the license again to be able to adapt what they did make stories for in the past. So naturally there are some things being left out. We previously had Mega Man X Dive get an offline version when it died. And when it came out, they actually neglected all of the collab stuff, including Devil May Cry and stuff like that as well. So it seems like it's hard to get the license again when you're releasing it for a kind of full release, if you would put it like that. And so definitely they did their best to be able to archive every single part of the game that they could, and I respect the hell out of this. Unfortunately, it won't be available for global, so you just have to download the JP version if you're interested in trying to check out all this stuff, and you won't be able to get it translated, unfortunately. But this is kind of the golden standard that a lot of gacha games should be shooting for when they do close. I think that one of the most important things is that this game won't be lost to time. If you are a big fan of Konosuba, you finish all the anime, and you're like, I kind of want to play like a visual novel of that, you can always hit this up and play it at any time. not translated, unfortunately, but that's just how it goes. But I'm glad the developers get to put out something significant about the game and get to continue to kind of celebrate what they made here. Because there will be some day where whatever gacha game that you play, that you choose to play, closes, and there likely won't be an end of service thing like this where they adapt all the story and stuff like that. It'll likely just like disappear one day into the ether and forever be gone. So this is the best way for making sure that there's still some sort of way to access all of this, and I am very proud of them for it. And I think that every single gacha game that closes should have this in some kind of way. And so I just want to talk about it a little bit because I do find it to be pretty interesting in that way. And yeah, just seems to be a cool little adaptation. And so that is the end of our Gacha Tourist for today. Just wanted to check out all the stuff that I was kind of looking at over the week and show you guys what's kind of been announced. But not a lot of excitement happening this week inside a lot of the games. I think that's kind of a cool off week for a lot of the ones that are around. There are also a couple of collabs that were around recently, like Guardian Tales got Freyren, stuff like that, but they're kind of all over, and so I don't really want to cover stuff that is over. If I can help it after the first episode, I'm trying to kind of stay current and kind of continue to announce stuff that's happening right now that will only be happening right now because eventually these events will disappear and never come back, right? And so hopefully you guys did enjoy. Be sure to hit the like button if you did. And I will see you guys on hopefully a video before next Friday. But if I don't, then I will see you next Friday for another episode of Gacha Tourist. See you guys later. Bye-bye.